Hello. Good to see you there. Last name? Hacky Hacky. Been a little while. Hope you're doing well. Okay, so today we are kind of just doing more of the same as last time. We'll see how quickly I can get through this. Ideally, I'd like to get the last few pages done. And then, you with that, and we're going to do this. Finally have the energy to watch a stream. Same schedule screwed as usual. Yeah. Glad to hear your energy's back up though. Oh, actually. That we can do. Is it? Yeah, that's all. Actually, that's all part of that. Okay. Oh, whoops. Flats. That, and of course, it's going to complain about the tiny gaps. To cut it off there. I think I'll cut it off there. So I don't have to do another fade effect. Well, that might give it some energy, but we'll see. I think this should work. Question mark? Of course. That works. Easy. Nice and easy. This page should be pretty quick. There's no like really intricate things that need to be like separated. Doing the flats on like the base color on it is gonna suck, but because this guy's way too complicated for his own good, but we'll make it work. Let's go do this. I should be able to. I think I can get through all the pages here. We'll see. Okay. Make sure, yeah. My selection was really quick there. That goes back like that, so yeah, you don't see anything. Okay. Can I just do that? Oh, it's something that people should be aware of, but I haven't. I've basically gone fully digital a long time ago, so I haven't taken any steps to do more traditional work. I don't have a real good like setup for one thing, you know, like a space to do it, which is really nice to have a space. You don't need a ton of space to do it, but it is nice. What is going on? Come on, there we go. Jeez. So it's not something that I've particularly gotten into. I probably should, in some regard, pick up a traditional skill, but it hasn't really been on my radar. I've been busy with a lot of other things, including just projects and stuff like that. You don't need to do traditional mediums to get good at art. Plenty of people work pretty strictly digital, myself included, and get by for the most part just fine. It can be a good thing to do in general. Honestly, funny enough that you mentioned that though, because like one of the things I feel like one of the really common pitfalls that I've heard a lot of people talk about in digital is, and it's really obvious when you think about it, is you know, having Control Z creates certain habits, sometimes like bad habits and stuff like that. I need to erase that line. And it can affect your the quality of your line work. In all honesty, but I actually do feel like the last few pages that I've done on this chapter in particular have really helped me refine my line work. Oops. Yeah, I have mentioned that a couple times. You know. Don't skill to notice yourselves. Well, the biggest thing is like there's a concept called line confidence, right? Where basically you might see it where it's like a person. I do this all the time. Let me get under the line work. Okay, so you know you have to hit and nail your lines, right? And so you keep Control Z and Control Z and Control Z, and what that does is it kind of like it interrupts your flow as an artist, rather than, you know, being able to just like hit your lines and whatnot. You're kind of just sort of being sporadic, right? Instead of like thinking things through, you're like, well, I'm just gonna do it like really fast. Oh, I didn't do that right, that looks like crap, you know. And instead what you want to do a lot of times is actually think about what you're doing and try to be a bit more nuanced and slow things down and be more in control of your line work. Funny enough though, that was one of the reasons that I really struggled with traditional mediums, is because I for the longest time really struggled with especially on paper, like even to this day, like paper and pencil, it's very difficult for me to get my hand to go where I want it to go. I think more so than, you know, usual. That's a weird looking hand. More so than usual, I think. I don't really know, because it's always a challenge, right? Like people in general, that's something that they struggle with when they start art and whatnot. They think they can't draw. But my skills are terrible. Yeah, it's one of those things where, like, you know, my hands and stuff like that, they shake. And so what you kind of have to do, though, especially, like, it's really interesting. One thing that I've really noticed um is when you look at a traditionalist artist, right? What their real skill is like constant improvisation with their line work, right? And this is actually something it's a very difficult effect to get across digitally, because it actually is really easy to make a smooth line digitally, right? And this isn't every style of inking necessarily, but inking in particular, you'll notice with like a lot of comic strips and stuff like that. Like Calvin and Hobbes is a really good example of where it's just like the way he draws the character and stuff like that. It's like, it doesn't matter that it's a shaky line. It doesn't matter that, you know, the line is like not quite perfect, right? You know, he has a way. Bill Watterson has a way of just kind of like going with the flow of how the character looks in the moment, right? Very common amongst I can't remember what Calvin's hair looks like. This is a really off model Calvin anyway, but you just kind of you let the line work kind of breathe. That's another thing that's kind of easy with digital to get into is you know, zooming in, trying to make things pixel perfect. Oops. Spiky blonde hair. Yeah, it's some kind of like, got like the really crazy. What is it? It's something like this. I don't know. Not quite like that. Short spiky blonde hair, yeah. That needs to be not. Ooh. But yeah, no, letting your line work breathe. Thing. Looks like a sawtooth pattern. Yeah, I'd have to look at it. I need to read more Calvin and Hobbes, honestly. Or rather, read it again. But yeah, you kind of learn to work with the medium more digitally, I think. Yeah, we'll do it that way. Or with traditional, rather. As opposed to kind of fighting against it almost. I mean, at the end of the day, it also is just a matter of practice. I remember, I think it was oh my gosh, I can't remember his name now. Dang, really? He's an ink. He's an inker for like DC and stuff like that. He did like all the really iconic art in like the 90s and 90s and 2000s and stuff like that. Oh my word, I can't remember his name. But he started as a Jim something. Jim, not Alex Ross. No, it wasn't Alex Ross. He was an inker, not a painter. Although actually I don't know if Alex Ross did any inking. He might have. He's a really good painter. I know that. If that's I think it's Alex Ross. Anyway, Jim Lee. That's it. Oh my word, that took forever. Jim Lee. He said that he would watch the ink artist because he started out as a penciler. Jim Days, not quite. Yeah, Jim Lee. Um, but he started out as a penciler, and he would watch the ink artists sit there and just try like for hours to get a technique down, right? So there is like, especially in that kind of art where you know your lines do need to be really clean and whatnot. Like, so there is a point where it's just like, okay, you gotta like grin and bear and just do it, right? But even Jim Lee's like a really good example where you watch his progress, his process, and it's very like it's very loose, right? You can tell he's really comfortable, right, in his medium. And that's what it really comes down to. Is just getting comfortable, getting to that point where it just is like second nature. Do I need a? I won't worry about the giving a different color on the bag. I don't. Yeah, kind of want it though. Nah, it'll be fine. The only reason I'd want to do that is if I wanted to make it do something different with the shadowing, but I don't really feel like doing that. Yep. But yeah, there's definitely good things to learn from traditional. No. I will say this technique does speed things up so much. Kind of crazy to think that I originally I was doing this all by hand. I'm like, oh my gosh, why was I so stupid? I mean, I had my reasons for doing it that way. I had my reasons for doing it by hand. The main one was this does create like mild artifacting that you have to watch out for, but it in the long term doesn't really matter. I gotta so long as you're careful. You actually have to be more careful about it in the next phase, which is the base color. More so than the flats. Flats, it's all right to do this. I'll have to figure out how I want to do. How I want to do the more realistic and less exaggerated. I'll have to clean that up, but that's fine. Yeah, I tend to gravitate towards more natural proportions, kind of. I guess it depends on the project, obviously, but I don't tend to push. I'll push proportions, but I won't push like shape, I guess. Yeah, I mean that's the building blocks of character design, right? It's proportions. Got to pick up on that stuff. I think it's fun to kind of notice what people do. Funny enough, that's actually something I want to do a little bit more of, is just some character design exercises and stuff like that, because I feel like that's one of my... I've gotten better at it over the time, but I feel like character design is something that I don't put a tremendous amount of like effort into. And part of it is because I don't much care for my kind of, not pet peeve or anything, but something I don't care for in character design is when it's very clearly like someone was basically left in a room for 10 hours to design this character, and so they put like everything, you know what I mean? And not even just from an animations perspective, like oh, that's really complicated to animate, why would you do that kind of way, but more just why would someone wake up in the morning and decide they want to wear like just that much, you know? I mean, it depends on the context, but the thing for me is like when I design a character, I'm always thinking like, well, why would they have this, you know? Like they don't need like 5 billion things in a pack if they're going to be like carrying it across the country. Like that would suck. They'd get tired, you know? It's like that would be awful. Like why would they do that to themselves, you know? I see that. That's a really common one, like an adventurer, and the adventurer has like a giant backpack, and it's like, it's fun, you know, don't get me wrong, it's not like, oh, character design sucks. A lot of times it's like, it's not bad character design, it just is like, it kind of takes me out of it, because I'm just like, oh, okay, it's a character, it's designed to be a character, it's not like thought was put into their like day to day, you know, kind of thing. At least it really doesn't seem like it. I mean, I'm really lazy when it comes to character design. I'm just like bare minimum, pretty much. Like, especially considering, you know, I have to draw this character a million times. I'm gonna be nice to myself for the most part. I mean, every now and again I'll put like way too many lines on a mask or something like that. But I don't know. I think that it kind of gets goofy when it's like it really becomes obvious that someone was looking at like really ornate clothing, like from different cultures and stuff like that. Like, it makes sense to go to different cultures for like ideas and stuff like that, but it's always like the most elaborate stuff, like really either ceremonial stuff or like very like just elaborate design and whatnot. And it's like, it makes sense for some things, right? Like if you wanted to display that, that's why these characters look the way they are, right? They have like, you know, they're meant to look like, oh, they've got something going on, right? But like not everyone, you know, comes from that perspective, that desire to stand out like that. And I don't know, it'd be a lot to wear all that all the time. Especially again, you know, the kind of adventurer sort of style. Just little things like that. Ooh. Why did you... Oh, dear. Characters do look Mesoamerican. I mean, I gotta admit, I like ponchos. I never thought about that. I guess I do take influence from Mesoamerican fashion. I mean, it makes, like, part of the reason is, you know, they're in the desert, right? So they're gonna wear clothes like you would find in a desert, right? These guys actually were more inspired by, at least this guy in particular was more inspired by African robes and stuff like that that I've seen over the years. The really cool like geometric pattern, they're really colorful too. I can't remember where they were out from. There's a really funny video I remember watching. I'm sure like it was tons of people saw it, of these two guys. They were from Africa, and I think they were nomadic. I don't know, but I think they were in America. I can't remember. It's been too long. But they were somewhere, and they're talking to this guy, and this guy has goats, but he doesn't just have like regular goats. He has fainting goats. And these guys had never seen fainting goats, and they thought it was the funniest thing. They're like, "Dude, we gotta buy some of these goats. These things are great." Remember? I don't know. I can't remember. Sub-Saharan? Yes. I want to say West African, but I don't know I don't know it well enough, basically. Fainting goes, yeah. And they thought it was the funniest thing. This was years. This was like 15 years ago or something like that. But they had these really cool robes. They had these really cool clothes that they wore. And that always really stuck out to me. And then you have also like the cloth armor that you would get from in really hot climates and stuff like that. Who wants to wear around a hot, heavy metal suit of armor when you're in the desert? So they actually come up with cloth armor, which was really unique. So that was another thing that kind of influenced this a little bit. Though this isn't armor in particular, it's not designed that way. It's just sort of that same idea. Berbers are Saharan. Okay. No, I'm not sure. I don't know. I can't say one way or the other. Gamberson like armor, yeah, more or less. But it's the pictures that I've seen. It's very like trailing, whereas opposed to like a Gamberson that's more like a shirt, you know, because it's meant to be more encompassing. They probably had like a Gamberson, so they had breastplates as well and whatnot. But yeah, it's one of those things where just climate-wise, it's like, again, that kind of goes into the thing. It's like, if someone's going to be in the desert, what kind of armor would they wear? Would they want to wear a metal suit that's going to like superheat in the weather, you know, in the sun? Yeah, there's longer ones and stuff like that. But this was like again, like trailing down to their feet, kind of like almost like, again, like a cloak or a robe or something like that. At least the ones I'm sure they had. Again, I'm sure they had all kinds of different styles. We're trying all kinds of things. Oops. Oh boy, Disney, don't sue me for the music. Not mine. I need to fix that. Nintendo don't. Yeah, disregard the homebrewed Wii in my entertainment setup. Oops. Speaking of homebrew, one of these days I need a. I've been wanting to stream games. I've been thinking about it, and I've got it all set up that I can stream PS2 on my TV and have it stream to my computer at the same time. You know, more than ever, Genesis does what Nintendo is like a really true statement. Because it's like, Nintendo that has a bunch of consoles, really hates fan projects, you know, all this other stuff, right? In Genesis, it's like freaking bombed in the consoles with consoles like 20 years ago. Freaking loves fan projects. Be up for watching such things? Yeah, it'd be really fun. Yeah, I've been thinking. I want to play Paper Mario, the original, again. Because that would be super fun. We're just gonna do this. I've never streamed that one. I streamed 1,000 Year Door. Actually, you might have. I don't know if you were there for that last name. You were there during the Twitch days, so maybe. I don't remember. That was a long time ago now. Dang it. If you were, you forgot. Yeah, I mean, that was a long time. I streamed that. Oh my gosh, like 6 years ago? Something like that? Was I even affiliate? I think I was. Pretty sure I was. A handful of people watched it. That was fun. That was a fun playthrough. We're gonna worry about that later. To be honest though, like I remember, because like everyone's like, "Oh man, 1,000 Year Door," like amazing game, stuff like that. It was fun. I had a really great time with 1,000 Year Door, but I really realized playing through, I was like, man, I really liked the first one. The first one was super fun in my book. I don't know. There was something about there was something about like the exploration of the world in the first one was just so much fun. It the second one, like the worlds were neat, they were cool, but I don't know, they didn't have the same like charm, I feel. There was I felt like, I don't know, the first one felt like, oh man, yeah, we're really like going somewhere, and it's like you don't know what's going to be around the next corner and whatnot. And 1,000 Year Door kind of had that, but like it was kind of like once you saw it, you've seen it, you know? It felt very flat, I guess, in the worlds. Especially like with the arena one, where it's like you're kind of stuck in the same spot. There was a lot of backtracking. There was a lot of backtracking in 1,000 Year Door. I'll just put this on one there. Oops. Do this. Has some food between the fingers? Probably. I probably might have. Oh yeah, there's a couple things here and there. I'll fix that in a second here. There we go. There. Yeah, that's the one big downside to like doing the selection method is chances are you're gonna miss little things like that. But it's just, it speeds up the process so much. This can be, oh, why? Interesting. Algorithm. All right. All right. All right. I should be able to just this, and for the most part, like it's like pretty much like there's no difference. So it's worth it in the end, but little things like that to watch for. But yeah, I wanted to play first Paper Mario. Honestly, I would like to play like the other Paper Marios as well. Well, I'd like to play the Super Paper Mario. That one seems like fun. I don't know about the other. Origami King looked fun. Although I don't have a Switch anyway, so that's irrelevant. But there's that one. I wanted to play Klonoa 2. I have that. That's fun. Honestly, it might even be kind of fun to play through like the Metal Gear Solid games. Because I have shoot. We'll do it this way. Okay. I have 1, 2, and 3. For PlayStation 2 or PlayStation 1 and 2. I've never sat down and played them. I have them. They're in my grasp. Yeah, I might. Yeah, I'm gonna clear that. This would be 4. You know that in Metal Gear Rising they push character backgrounds into their soundtrack songs? Not super familiar with the Metal Gear Rising soundtrack. I know that was it Jeff Plays? Is that his name on YouTube? He did like a lot of the like Doomified songs and stuff like that. That's kind of put him on the map on YouTube. He worked on that soundtrack a little bit. He was actually involved in that soundtrack, which is funny to learn. But no, I haven't really looked too much into it. I do always like that. I always like it when you have like stuff integrated into music in that manner. Oh wow, what's this song? Let's go and grab this color here. Yeah, I think that what's it called? Devil May Cry did something like that as well, didn't it? Oh, come on. There we go. But I just remember what's like Virgil's theme or something like that. The lyrics apparently kind of like reflected the character or something like that. I don't remember. I've never played Devil May Cry either, so. Gonna have to play the game to get the gist. That's handy. Where is it? No, DMC 5. Okay. So just that one, it sounds like. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. Those games, man, they like wow. Anyway. Oh, it works. Oops. Yeah, that was a franchise that kind of, I was like, meh. I will say, I do find it really funny, the fact that Revengeance has aged like a fine wine. Because I remember when that game came out, I was just like, what? Like, okay, I've not played Metal Gear Solid, but this does not seem like Metal Gear Solid. And then, like, what was it, like 2022 or 2021 or something like that? Like, it became a meme, and it's just like figuratively and literally. And it like just exploded back into like the public conscious. From what I've seen of like the Devil May Cry series, it seems like a pretty fun game series. I'm not a big like hack and slash guy. I'm not opposed to it, but I've just never really gotten into it. I never played like God of War or Devil May Cry or like, I don't know, Rygar or something. Seems really solid as far as like gameplay and whatnot. Just never got into those games. I mean, if you're one of the top business predators, look on my website. I have contact information. Send me an email. I'll say this, if it's not a paid gig, I'm not interested. Let's see. Let's see. Speaking of animation, after I get this done, I'll probably do a little bit of more light work on the animation, which I am making good time. I'm actually making decent time. I think it's been an hour. Not even. Let's go. Yeah, the animation with Wicker. Yes, I'm still working on it. Although Oob is one of the character's names, so you got that right. Honestly, I need to work on Oob more, because, like, I haven't done very much with him. I always kind of have a tendency to, like, if I have, like, 3 or 4 characters, there's one that kind of gets left out. So I kind of underdevelop them. So I need to do that with Oob. Develop them some more. I'm gonna do her color first. Oh, sound load. Yeah, it has trouble. 1 second. I'll link a more direct link. 1 second. Give me a second here. Oh, it's not even in the description below. Oh, that's funny. Yeah, I've been meaning to I need to rework my stuff. Actually, did you click on the... Which one did you click on? Did you click on the Read the Blanking Here link or one of my socials? Because I actually don't have... I technically have 2 websites. It's really confusing. Let me go grab the one. The Ko-Fi link? Ko-Fi link didn't work. Oh. Really? Oh. I'll have to double check that link. Let me grab the site here. Hold on. 1 second. This will take a minute. I actually have my if you just type in theanimatedmoon.com, it'll take you to the site, but it's not direct, so it takes forever. I've got to rework all that. Kind of a nightmare. Oh yeah. Yeah, so what happens is basically I have it as a relink. It's relinking over to like a Wix site or something like that. It's a really scuffed way of doing it, and it barely works. I haven't touched my Ko-Fi in like friggin' ages. I probably should rework that as well. Okay, 1 second. What is it? Here we are. Oh. That's an error. Interesting. Oh, I wish that things worked sometimes. 1 second. Tell you what, just DNS problem or something? Yeah, probably. Frick it. Just send an email to... This is my work email anyway. Oh, that's not spelled correctly. Don't do that one. That's better. It's a public email, so I'm not too worried about posting it here. Go ahead and just send an email there, and then we can go and pitch the idea, and I'll get back to you, let you know if it's something I can work with. Yeah, for sure. Appreciate it. Yeah, I really, man, I've been dragging my feet on making a better website. And getting that all sorted. I really do need to get that taken care of, because otherwise it is a hassle. The more, like, your online presence is a hassle, like, the less involved people want to be with it, you know? So that's something I've definitely been needing to work on. It's kind of tough though, because like what I want to do is I want to go through something called NeoCities. NeoCities is like old school. Actually, I do have a website set up. It's where you can read my comic, this comic that I'm working on right now. A little guilty. But, oops. Shoot. The problem is that, like, I've got to sit down, I got to, like, really think it through and actually develop it and whatnot. And I haven't done that. I don't know what to say. I just haven't done it. This would actually be orange as well. Okay. We have 3 pages after this. This next page should go quick. Yeah. That'll be green. I'll say maybe I should just put my business email somewhere on my YouTube channel. Potentially, we'll see here. Be nice to get some more work. Earlier, I forgot something I wished to mention. Tristan Dante's height relative to is inconsistent. Well, like in cutscenes and such, or like in game. Because one thing that's like I remember, it's really funny. In like a friend of mine showed me this. He's actually been working. He's been. It's a. The heck did I select that for? Whatever. It's a technically like a Sly Cooper fan game, although it's more just like a learning kind of thing for him. But he pointed something out to me where like at the beginning of the first game, you're like running away from what's her face, the police detective or whatever. And she's freaking massive. She's like at least twice the size of your character as Sly Cooper. And of course the reason is because it's to like, it's for composition, right? It's like to make it really obvious, like there's the character, or you could really easily see him and stuff like that. Cutscenes, that's kind of funny. The rest are the same. Yeah, that's probably like it's probably like a composition thing. It's the same reason why like when animators animate like a piano or something like that, they're playing the wrong notes. The reason isn't because the animator can't animate them playing the right notes. That's not that much crazier. I mean, it's a little bit crazier. Like you'd have to be very specific about it, but it's doable. It's not like unrealistic, right? The reason is because playing these notes has better composition to the scene. It looks better for the scene. So it might be something like that, or it might just be because they didn't care. That is funny though. It's always funny when you notice stuff like that. She's missing part of her arm. Cool. I always forget things. And part of her torso. That's better. Yeah, one of those things where once you see it, you can't unsee it. Okay, how do I want to do the desert? I think I'm gonna do that as the background. I know how I'm gonna do that. Frick. I have to select all of that by hand. At least the top. That sucks. Unless, was I smart? No, I wasn't. I put it all in the same layer. Dang it. Okay, well, that's the way it goes. All right. This is gonna be background. This is gonna be background. Yeah. Yeah, I do wonder if there was any intention to it. Love deserts? Oh, I see. You're back with your puns. I think deserts are cool myself. Figure that one out. Shoot. There's something... It doesn't like something. But I don't know where it's having trouble. No, that's closed, that's closed, that's closed, that's closed. That'd be dumb if that's what it is, but it might be. Oh, nope. Nah, that's not it. Where is it? Where's the gap? Honestly, like, if there was ever a tool that needed to be made, it's a tool that shows you where the stupid gap is. Like, come on, algorithm, show me where it is. Where is the gap? I don't... you know, it might be one of those things where it's like the perfect, like, pixel position to, like, not be a gap, but, like, it thinks it is. Fingernails? Is it on the fingernails? That's solid. That's solid. That's solid. That doesn't have a fingernail. There's no thumb. Shoot. Ugh. I really don't want to have to select this entire hand. One second. Let me try this. There we go. I just had to increase the gap size. Oops. Oh, I see. I see. It's really fun getting to do those little details. Oh, there it was. I found you. It was close to the fingernail, dang it. But yeah, it's really fun to do those details because, like, oh, goodness, sorry. Hands are kind of funny. They look like blobs. They look like these amorphous blobby things until you start putting, like, particularly the finger rings, the digit rings, and the fingernails on. Will that work? I think that'll work. Yeah, I think that'll work. I wish I had thought about this composition a little bit more, but I think that that's obvious enough, especially when it's colored. It's going to be really obvious because it's going to be like white surrounded by red. Getting on to see the blobbiness. Yeah. Yeah, hands are very blobby. I mean, they kind of are like it's just, you know, like muscle and fat, right? And then tendons. The bones are super like, because like the things on the back of your hand, you know, those ridges on the back of your hand, that's tendons, right? That's not even bones necessarily. The bones in your hand are just so bizarre. Like, let me and skeleton. Like, there are, you know, bones and stuff like that, but like it's so weird because it's just a clump of bones. It just is like, yeah, like a bunch of marbles or something. It's so weird. It's downright bizarre. And it gives a lot of like you can move it and stuff like that, but like, yeah, it's just bizarre, man. Hands are weird. They're just weird. You knew there were tendons? I mean, there are bones behind it, but like the top of it, the top of the ridge, like you feel that thing going back, but that's the tendon, right? Deeper in, you have the friggin' whatever these bones are called. I can't remember. But like still, like there's a lot of flesh, especially on the palm, in between, you know, your hand and your bone. So it's just really blobby. Need to learn more about human anatomy. It's fun. It's cool, and it's good to learn, especially if you do art. I need to do more like studies on specific body parts, arms, legs in particular. Legs are weird. The way the legs are like structured, and like legs are weird, man. So like sophisticated joints like ball and socket. That's an interesting concept. Well, what would a hand with a ball and socket joint, like, I don't know, like, because the benefit of a hand at that, like, the way it's designed is extremely efficient, right? Like, it's crazy how much articulation is in the hand, right? For such a small area. We really struggle to replicate hands. Ball and socket wrist, that would make sense. Although I feel like your mobility with a ball and well, no, your legs are really flexible. Yeah, well, but I don't know, the way that, like, because the way that the pelvic joint works, right, the hip joint, is you have a really like wide area of articulation. The bone is really wide. It can accommodate for, granted, a large limb. But I think we would have really thick wrists if we had ball and socket hands. At least I feel like we would. I guess there would. I suppose it would be how it would depend on how it works, how it's designed. It needs to be colored. Okay. Okay, let's get to selecting. So replace the carpal bones. So the carpal bones being bottom of the wrist, so that group of marbles with one ball and socket joint to face the forearm. See, but that, so I feel like one of the other benefits that you have with the carpal bones, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but there is a little bit of mobility there, isn't there? Like that's why we can kind of like move our hand in towards itself. I actually don't know how mobile the carpal bones are, but I would imagine that them being just a grouping would give them some mobility. For the price of stability, interesting. That's the same the hand already has. Yeah, I mean, that's the crazy thing is like a lot of the action of the hand is in the forearm. Now, hands are cool. Hands are very cool. Kind of like our saddle joints. Ooh. All this talk of like theoretical anatomy is reminding me I need to read more of the Uplift War books. I've read the first trilogy. I'm onto the other trilogy, the second trilogy. Though it's not even really like a second trilogy. It's a more of like a parallel trilogy. Metacarpal bones can't rotate anyway. Yeah. That'd be that would be weird if they could. You'd have really wiggly fingers. Trilogy of what? The Uplift War trilogy by David Brin. It's a neat series. It goes into the concept behind it is that, you know, the universe has alien life and it has a sophisticated kind of social hierarchy in place where basically sentient life doesn't just develop like, you know, evolution necessarily. It is encouraged by a patron race. So a sentient race will uplift essentially like a non-sentient race, like one that's deemed to be like ready for uplift, right, on an alien world. And so, but the thing about humans is, you know, it's still like regular human timeline. We don't have a patron race. And so it kind of is an interesting social dynamic where we're kind of stepping into the greater galactic theater at this bizarre advantage. Well, advantage and disadvantage. We're kind of like independent of any kind of like patron race or anything like that. Hence the name Uplift, yeah. Which is, I guess, a theoretical concept in, I guess, biology or something. I don't know. It's a neat series. Very interesting. The first book, Sundiver, is really good. I really do hope I'm selecting the right cliffs. It's a sci-fi term, yeah. It's for character design. Cool. Never see the light of day, and I had fun anyway. Sometimes it's just good to have a character like that, though. You know, something that you just enjoy doing. You know, I mean, that's kind of the way I am with like music and stuff like that. I do want to do more composition and like do music streams and stuff like that eventually, where I'll actually play in one. But for the most part, music is just like the thing I don't have to worry about sharing. You know, it's good to have a hobby like that. Plus, then you get to go down like cool rabbit holes, like how joints work. I really hope I have the right line. You can ignore the nitty-gritty details. Yeah, I mean you gotta balance it out, right? Honestly, like it's oh my gosh. I have to go across the entire page. Am I getting anywhere? The Children of Time level of hard sci-fi forethought. I've actually not heard of the Children of Time. This is a really good remix of a really good song. Holy cow, what? Dang it. What is this? Weird Bananas, Helpless Romantic Fear of Dark Cover. Yo, Weird Bananas is kind of rocking here. Children of Time by Adrian Tchaikovsky. Have I heard that name before? I feel like I've heard that name before. I might be thinking of Tarkovsky, though. Which reminds me, I need to watch Solaris. Anyway, yeah, no, I've not heard of Children of Time. Okay, that sounds cool. That sounds friggin' awesome. I might have to check that out. Society of Spies uplifted by accident on an alien world? Okay, yeah, that sounds like exactly the kind of thing I've been reading lately. Their computers are biocomputers? Man, this sounds awesome. Bacteria and stuff. Yo. I might have to keep an eye out for that while I'm out, like, shopping in thrift stores and junk. That sounds pretty cool. Man, that would be weird if we, like... And it, you know, you almost would think it would happen first. Well, I don't know. Maybe not. But like using like nerves and stuff like that to build circuits. Like growing circuit boards and stuff like that. I guess the downside to that would be it would take time. The manufacturing process would take a lot of time. It's a series. That sounds actually really cool. Heck, I like the Uplift trilogy, and I love Jumping Spiders. This is like, that's perfect. This is going to be background. That's good. We can just do this. There are actually electric bacteria worldwide. Yeah, I mean that is a thing. Heck, I mean, technically, organic circuits are a thing. Not like in the way that you think with like bacteria and stuff like that. But I was actually having this conversation with someone the other day where basically we're at a point where we're designing circuit boards to utilize organic composition, like essentially organic poly holy cow, not polyester, although it's derived, plastic, oh my gosh, I'm forgetting everything today. Polymer, good grief, polymer, using polymers to basically grow circuits, which is a really cool idea. And so it's kind of in the same vein as like OLED, right? Crystalline structure being grown and stuff like that. Polymer, yeah. Okay, that's that pitch. But yeah, does make you think though. Right, twice in one day. Let's go. It may be slow, but it'll be closer to FPGAs than static silicon chips. Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, a circuit is just pathway, right? That carries a voltage. So anything that does that, I mean, heck, friggin', I wouldn't be surprised if we start building circuits with like slime molds or something like that, you know? Although I don't know if slime molds are conductive in any like significant capacity. That sounds pretty cool. Actually sounds like a lot of things I really like. What are you? You're the ring. What am I doing? Oh, I know what I'm doing. I know why I did this. But here's what I'm gonna do. I'm actually gonna just cut this in half. There you go. Wrong one. Portia spiders are wicked smart. They're a genus. Portia spiders. I've been looking at a lot of like spider stuff lately. Portia spider. Oh yeah, a jump spider. Yes, yes they are. They're very like, it's kind of crazy. They're very curious. Yeah, no, Portia spiders are great. I'll refrain from showing it because people don't like spiders, but jumping spiders. Trial and error. Yeah, it's crazy. No, Portia spiders are really smart. It's kind of wild. One of these, I might get myself a little jumping spider one of these days, because they're really easy to care for the most part. The only thing is I would need to like figure out how to get it food, you know. I have some bugs that float around here, but not a ton. I'd have to be specific about that. You only have to feed them like once a month though, so that's nice. Funny enough though, when I was talking about that doing projects to work on like character design, stuff like that, actually my thought was I wanted to design characters based on spiders and like figure out how do I like translate like the look of a spider into like a humanoid character essentially. And one of the spiders was a jumping spider, so I'll probably do that at some point. Just do these little character design exercises. Dang it. How did that happen? Jumping spooters. Speaking of jumping spooters, why you looked into the joints and you guys go, nice. No, I'm of the opinion that spiders are friends. Partia and spinning spiders. They're the only spiders that you don't feel like immediately swatting. I don't swat pretty much any spiders because like I'm just like, yeah, they're chill. Although I do prefer house centipedes. If I'm gonna have bugs in my house, I prefer house centipedes over spiders because they don't make webs. They eat all the bad bugs that fly around and they don't make webs. They're like a better spider. Made of quasi-social and not eusocial or solitary. Interesting. Oops. Are both of these walls? Both of these walls are not going to be the same color. Yeah. Okay. So here's what we're gonna do. This should be easy enough. The ground will be a background layer, so I'm not going to color that. Oh, come on. Oh. I want you to be blue. I'll tell me with a different color for the other side. Impossible to remove without the blue share. Yeah, centipedes can fight. I do know that like spider bites are extremely rare, like way more rare than people think they are. Like as in people who say they've been bitten by a spider almost certainly know they haven't. Centipedes are also toxic to humans. I mean, yeah, but like how toxic? Because technically, you know, heckin' bees are toxic, right? Actually, I don't know if that's true. I guess it wouldn't be a toxin. They can't be spiders at school, especially German. Yeah, for real. I mean, that's how house centipedes are. I mean, regular centipedes are like whatever, right? You know. But I like house centipedes because like they just chill dudes. I got a house centipede roommate. I named Gregory. Every time I see him, I'm like, oh, Gregory, hello. And he's a friend. I actually really appreciate him because I know for a fact I've had flies in this house, and then they disappear. And I'm like, oh, Gregory's been busy. But yeah, no, Gregory's my house centipede roommate. And he's great. I only see him like once every like 6 months. Although there have been little house centipedes running around, so now we're on to like Gregory the Third or something probably, but you know. You go, Sheldon, use your bugs. Exactly. It is a positive relationship. I'm curious what kind of spiders are over in that part of the world. I need to... I mean, I imagine, because, like, spiders are essentially universal, right? But different kinds of spiders I'm really curious about. Like, I imagine over there has, like, orb weavers and stuff like that, but I don't know. You social as a hive mind? Oh, interesting. I do remember seeing footage of like highly social spiders in South America. I think it was Brazil. Maybe Colombia. I can't remember. It was somewhere in South America. And they had built a massive communal web across like trees and power lines. So you just look up and it's just spiders everywhere, just walking on air. These social insect societies have all the characteristics of semi-social one, except overlapping generations of adult cohabit, share and care young, means that they're more than one adult. Generation is alive at the same time, and that the older generations also give her the newest offspring. Sociality. Interesting. Yeah, it's pretty bizarre. It's very unusual for spiders. Because most spiders, especially like bigger ones, tarantulas and stuff like that, although tarantulas are their own thing almost entirely. You know, they are spiders, but they're not true spiders or whatever it is. Are solitary. They only interact when they mate, I think. And otherwise don't have any kind of social structure. Oh, interesting. I suppose that something like wolves would be subsocial, because you have. Well, actually, I don't know about that one actually, because I do know that the parents lead the pack, but I don't know if there is much more of a hierarchy than that with wolves. I can't remember. Wolves are actually quasi-social. Okay. Yeah, because I'm pretty sure it's just you have the parents and then you have the rest of the pack, essentially. Oh, dang. How'd that happen? How did that happen? What the heck? Captive wolves form hierarchies are not unlike humans. Yeah. Packs of families. Yeah. No, that's why the whole like alpha wolf thing doesn't exist in the wild. They're wildly unlike the popular mystical. Yeah, well, you have like I know that gorillas, like you have silverbacks and stuff like that, but they're like gorillas are actually like a really supportive of like raising young and stuff like that, male gorillas and whatnot. It's actually really interesting. Okay, there we go. It's always these that are the most headache. There's characters interacting like this. Why do I do this? No hugs. You're not getting a hug because I have to color it. It's annoying. Wealthy, well-liked. Interesting. Yeah. Yeah, no, apes, man, apes get strange. You know, you of course have like the chimp wars and stuff like that that happen. It's very bizarre. Chimps in particular are strange. Like, chimps more than any other animal, like, scare me. Like, as far as like, okay, if you have to like deal with an aggressive animal, what's the last one you would want to deal with? And for me, it's like, it's a chimp. Like, that is like towards the top. It's like, yeah, a bear would be scary, but a bear will just kind of kill you, you know? Or a big cat. Big cat is just going to kill you, right? That sucks. But a chimp is going to make it hurt the entire time. Or they're, yeah, no, they're very territorial. Oh no, it gets, man, chimps get weird. Chimps get weird, man. I don't like it. I don't like it. Yeah, they're just violent. It's kind of scary, man. I mean, I know like they're just animals and all that kind of stuff, but like they're, I don't know, man. Like every time I look at a chimp, I'm just like, he's 2 steps away, man. He's just like, he's gonna snap. Kind of like humans. Well, yeah. Opposable thumbs can hold knives. That's one thing that's kind of going on. That's kind of crazy. Friggin' crows and ravens and junk, like corvids and junk. They getting smart, man. They are really smart birds. It's crazy. Honestly, I would love like a story about like uplifting crows. Like, what would that look like? You know, what would that be like? That'd be cool. That is one thing that's kind of interesting about the Uplift trilogy is, so the obvious one is like chimps, right? That was like the first species that humans uplifted or whatever. But the second species was actually dolphins. So you have like characters that are uplifted dolphins. Okay, that's actually her back as well, which is neat. So, and it's really cool the way that David Brin, the author, like thinks about, okay, like how would a dolphin like communicate? What would their like culture be? You know, because you start getting into that kind of thing. Dolphins worry you. Don't think chimps' thumbs are opposable? I don't know. I guess I don't know what qualifies as opposable. I would think that they are, because they're very articulate, but I don't know if it's that. Them and orcas, yeah. You know, dolphins are crazy. they're wild. They get high on friggin' like pufferfish and junk. At least they seem to. That's why they laugh like that. Probably guilty. They're probably high off their gourd all the time. Oh, interesting. Okay, so that's... Yeah, I don't know then. So then I suppose like raccoons don't have opposable thumbs, even though they're very articulate. Because I don't think they can do that, but I don't know. Actually, that really makes me wonder what has opposable thumbs. What else has opposable thumbs? Because like that's pretty dang specific. We're gonna want to. Okay. Come on. Ash. Let's make this wall blue. I think blue will work. Yeah, blue will work. Multiple thumbs, old world monkeys, except colobus and all great apes. All great apes. Interesting. So wait, is that saying that all great apes do have opposable thumbs, or that they don't? Because I'm reading it as they don't. Or is it saying opposable thumbs? Old world monkeys, except the colobus. And okay, I see. Okay, I see. So they do have opposable thumbs. Okay. Yeah, I mean, honestly, that makes sense. Okay, that should be it. Oh, shoot. Yeah, there we go. That'll work. I kind of want to separate the mask in this. That's gonna be annoying. Okay. Oh, dang it. Adriana Soria. Huh. I don't know if I've heard of that character. I don't really know Marvel comics. I don't know comics in general, to be honest. Huh. Actually, we're gonna do it this way. Good way to do it. I'll do the strap after. There we go. There we go. And oh, there we go. There. Man, you know, you're dealing with someone crazy when they start labeling you viable mate or inviable mate. Ooh, that would be kind of a creepy way to depict someone like, you know, kind of like the Fly type scenario, you know? Where it's like you start taking on the behavior of an alien. Because it's one thing, you know, the physical traits, right? But when it starts to affect you like on a behavioral level, that's when, man, that's when it gets creepy. I've seen a couple games do stuff like that. And it's pretty creepy. Pretty effective at just giving it that extra edge of just unnatural, you know? Okay, last page. Let's go. Time is 8:32. We've been going for almost 2 hours here. Oh, I think we're all familiar with the term parasocial in this day. Not that parasocial. I'm looking forward to coloring this page. That's gonna be fun, and doing the border design on it. That's gonna be cool. That's gonna be fun. That's gonna be really fun. Yeah. I'm gonna separate out some of these rocks. The ground is going to, yeah, the ground is going to be background, I think. But this ground won't. I'll actually do that ground proper. Okay. Wait, hold on. I might. Yes, I was smart. I am so smart. Put the line work on another layer. Sounds about right. But does he wear a hat made out of water? Because if you haven't seen that video, oh my goodness, you need to watch it. It's a video. It's a shoot. Is it Korean or Japanese? Can't remember. Dang it. I have text on the screen. I'm trying to remember if it's Korean text or Japanese text. I think it's Japanese text. Anyway, either way, spider pet haver, right? Takes one of their little jumping spiders and puts a little droplet of water on their head, and they wear it like a hat. It's freaking amazing. Where is the panel? Yeah, we're just gonna. Let's grab the orange will do. There we go. And now we do line work 2. Actually, we can leave this on. The way we're gonna do this is we are going to. You don't have to care about that. Okay, this should be really fast, actually. Doing the actual coloring is going to take some time because I have to figure out the layering and how I'm going to do that. Oops, don't make it orange. Red. All these rocks will be like cool. Actually, I feel like all spiders are obligated carnivores, yeah? Why do I feel like there's one that can subsist off of something else? Maybe I'm thinking of something else. I don't know. I can't remember. Except for your character isn't dysfunctional. Huh. Meant character, not spiders. Yeah, but I'm trying to. I feel like. Why do I feel like there is a spider that doesn't eat meat, basically, or at least like doesn't have to? Well, it makes sense because like it's both, right? He's both. He's both human and not, so like it kind of crosses over. Especially like if it's like biologically speaking, it's a human body. Like it technically has the metabolism of a human, at least in part. Yeah, I can't remember. I feel like there's something about that, but maybe not. I don't remember. I do know that it is quite rare for something to only be able to eat like vegetation, an obligated herbivore. You have like, that's why you have like deer will eventually just start munching down on like friggin' carrion and stuff like that if they get desperate enough. All right, that's Flatstone. That's Flatstone. With a little bit of time to spare, we can do a little bit of lighting on the animation. So that is a big step. It's going to be a lot of work to do the coloring. There's a lot to do still, but that's a big step. So I'm pretty happy about that. Found the spider. Oh, so it does. Bagheera Kiplingi. Oh, it looks like a kind of a jumping spider. Oh, it is. Okay. Which is mostly herbivorous. Huh. What's its diet? Covers nubs called William, where it seems acacias. Oh, interesting. The incident to guard the Belgian body, their food source against intruders. That's weird, huh? Cannibalize specifics during the Jurassic. Weird, huh? So it is a thing. That's cool. With the species name honoring Kipling as well. That's kind of cool. That's funny. Just no other known. Huh. Weird. That's cool. Omnivorous spiders. Not omnivorous, herbivorous. I guess they're omnivorous. I don't think they strictly eat plant material. Wicker animation. Okay. And cardiovascular. I forget how spider hearts work. I watched an interesting video that broke down the anatomy. I can't remember what it was. Are his limbs hydraulic? That would be weird. Oh man, he would. Oh, the way he would move would be unsettling. Oh, that would be creepy. A hydraulic musculature system. He looks very human. Okay, so where is... Yeah, here we are. All right. I suppose high color shadow. Let me move this over actually. I mean, that's the biggest thing, right? Like, is especially, I mean, you would almost, you could almost not be able to like design it like a spider, because like a spider is designed at a very like small size. So he would have to like, man, you'd have to really think up like, okay, how does a human-sized object swinging through the air actually like not rip his own arm off, right? like that is such a like hardcore feat. That's a lot of pressure being put on the joints. Arboreal, basically, yeah. Actually. Hold on, I gotta fix that. I think I do. Probably don't actually. We'll fix it anyway. Okay. Oh, not doodles. Here we go. It's fun to, it's a fun like theoretical, right? Like thinking through like how it would be, you know? We can just get rid of this. Unless screwed up now, isn't it? No. I try not to think about details like that, because then it's like, okay, I have other work to do. Plus, I don't do a lot of hard sci-fi. I think it'd be fun to do a sci-fi. But generally speaking, I mostly stick to more fantastical stories. Come on. Well, science fiction can be addressing, it often is nowadays, right? But it can also be a very like it is, you know, you have stuff that is like more authentic science fiction, right? It's looking at something through a very like particular lens and asking a question and sort of exploring that concept, right? A lot of times science fiction, especially nowadays, is just like, okay, it's in space, it's blah blah blah, it's this that, but ultimately it's just people shooting lasers at each other, right? Or something like that, right? Or it's, you know, superheroes beating each other up or whatever, right? But I would say that there's a condition with the science fiction where it's like, no, it's actually like asking a question and exploring an idea. And technically, I mean, you can call it conceptual sci-fi. That's what I call it. But technically, you can also do the same thing with fantasy as well. Kind of ask a question and then explore it, and it takes more precedence over like the character going on some journey, right? That you can do with whatever. But the physics magical system is fairly rigid. Yeah, I think it depends on the question that's ultimately being asked. Is it a flat out fantastical question, right? Or is it a more scientific one? Like, for example, what would happen if the laws of thermodynamics were reversed, right? There's actually a book that goes into that called The Practice Effect, again by David Brin, same guy who did the Uplift trilogy. It's a great book. I really like it. And I would call it a light science fiction, but I would thoroughly call it a science fiction because it's ultimately exploring a scientific quandary. It's exploring what happens if the laws of thermodynamics are in essence reversed and a world builds itself around a concept of practice, where essentially the more you utilize something, the better it gets at performing that task, right? It's not, you know, it's not scientific. It doesn't have its basis in reality, but its question that it's asking is based on a scientific concept, not necessarily a fantastical, you know, element. Ultimately, it gives it kind of this fantastical bent, right? But it's not wholly like fantasy. Physics are more malleable, yeah. Yeah, which is where the term, you know, science fantasy comes into play. More just a colloquial term. I honestly kind of want to read that book again. That's a good one. Oh, I totally forgot to do the arms. Oops. And the piece. I forgot to do a lot of things. Yeah, feel free if you want. It's always fun to kind of check out that stuff. Oh, this is gonna take forever. Why did I let you guys not stop me from doing this, from doing lighting? I hate doing lighting. It takes so long doing lighting this way. There's such faster ways of doing lighting. Should have explored other techniques. Yeah, no problem. I mean, the server never gets used anyway. I just never know what to do with it, honestly. This sounds good. Who is this? Almost as like old school friggin' Phantom NK. EMR? No, it is Phantom NK, okay. Phantom NK, jump up and bounce down. Go figure. Gotta learn. Yeah. Well, I mean, I know how to do lighting like this. For the most part, like, I have ideas for the technique and stuff like that. But there's like other cheaper ways to do like a rim lighting. And that's all you really need. I like the flatter kind of geometric styles and junk. Just soften it up, it looks good. Time is it? Almost 9. Yeah, we got some time. Man, Phantom McKay was peak. You know, it's kind of funny. I don't put a lot of stake into like magic systems and things like that. I kind of find the idea of a magic system counterintuitive because it's magic. It's like, okay, okay, what makes it magic? We're just like, if it has a system in place, then it's kind of just physics at that point. I mean, there is like, it's something to be said about like, oh, the system is like the way it's conducted, right, and stuff like that. But very rarely do I find that it actually like explores something in a manner that's like, oh, we don't know how this works. We're just kind of tapping into this. Is how we know how to tap into it, essentially. When the rigidity slash looseness is clearly separate from the theatrical system, or theatrical system, dressing. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of funny, right? Well, it's I think it's a product of again, like you say, it's just dressing. So a science fiction isn't really a science fiction. It's just, that's the setting, you know. It's more just like, oh, we're set in space, therefore it's a sci-fi, as opposed to being, again, like a concept, like an idea that's being explored, right? Like, it would be kind of a tonal whiplash if like your story takes place on Earth and has you exploring the concept of like an alien vessel showing, like a generation ship showing up, but then, oh, by the way, there's magic. You know, it's like, that's kind of strange, right? Like, if you're explicitly exploring what would happen if an alien vessel showed up in orbit around Earth, right? If that's explicitly what you could have a story about like a generation ship showing up and have magic and stuff like that, but you're no longer really exploring a hypothetical. You're just having fun, which is fine, but yeah. It's a vibe, yeah. Or, oh, there's robots. Or, hey, Cyberpunk. Yeah, exactly, right? Cyberpunk's another really good example of that, actually. Where it's just, like, kind of... okay. You know? It's a special... oh my gosh, speaking of Cyberpunk, the technical forefather of Cyberpunk is a good example of the way that people, like... how to put it? Like, take the superficial as the... quality or the value of a genre or concept, like because like you have like Blade Runner, right, which I don't even really consider it cyberpunk, honestly, because what's punk about it? You know, what's even cyber about it? It's dystopian, sure, but like anyway, but it was a lot of people point to that as being the influence in the cyberpunk sphere, but that's not at all what the story is about. That's the setting, right? The story is about the idea of sentience through androids, is sentience through roboticism. You know, do androids dream of electric sheep, right? And that just completely gets left behind. Is cybernetic? I don't even, like, I guess cybernetic in the sense that there's androids, you know, there's replicants. But, I mean, yeah, I guess. I mean, I guess cyber, yeah, I guess in that sense, yeah. If we're looking at it through that lens. You know, like, parahuman, right? That I yeah, qualifies. It's clearly not steampunk. I mean, yeah, steampunk is in and of itself just like pure window dressing, honestly. Like, I don't know if anyone's ever actually like tried to think through a like conceptual steampunk. Maybe there's probably someone out there who has. It really is just an aesthetic more than anything. Just fair enough. I mean, I'm not saying any things are really bad. It's just kind of what I do think though is that like it's a shame when it becomes the overshadowing factor of something like Blade Runner, where it's like, oh, it's cyberpunk. It's like, not really, and there's so much more there. You know? Well, I mean to say that even like cybernetics don't really play, other than like the android concept, right? Like, because when I think like cybernetics, I'm thinking like, okay, like technologies at the forefronts being like wired directly into the human condition and stuff like that. Like I'm thinking, I guess I'm thinking more prosthetic. But I guess cybernetic isn't necessarily prosthetic. But still, like, I don't know. It's just kind of funny. You can call it cybernetic, though, I suppose, because it is about, like, again, that parahuman concept. And technically, if my memories are fake and everything I thought I knew is fake, what are you even? Yeah. Well, and then you start getting into like Ghost in the Shell type stuff, right? Like with the Ship of Theseus argument, the philosophy therein, and stuff like that. Now that's definitely cybernetic, right? Because you have the human factor being like directly built on, right? I guess that's what I kind of think about when I think cybernetic. I don't know if that's entirely accurate. What is the base root of cyber? What does that actually? Cyber, relating to characters of the culture of computers, the internet, and virtual reality. So that's more of the. I feel like that's a or not colloquial, but that's a modern term. Relating to computers, the internet, and virtual reality. So see that's okay. So that even makes it more complex. Because if cyber is referring to like the internet and computers and things like that, then that's even less related to Blade Runner. Again, other than like the fact that an android has a computer in it, you know. It was secretly causal feedback of steering a ship. Yeah, the DCS, yeah. Kubernetes. Oh, interesting. Okay, hold on. For the person who steers a ship, cybernetics is a transdisciplinary study of circular causal processes such as feedback and recursion, where the effects of a system's actions, outputs, return as inputs to the system and influence subsequent actions. So essentially, yeah, like self-thinking machines, right? Interesting. That's interesting. That's way more. I like that much better than just the Google term, because that makes so much more sense. Then yeah, then that makes perfect sense. Yeah, then that would be a cybernetic concept, because that's exactly what the replicants are. They are a self-feeding mechanism, which is why Roy is after more life. It's this, not even preservation, that he realizes like the value of his own existence almost, you know. It's a really interesting idea. in this technical sense. Well, I think that it's good to go back to those technical senses because otherwise you're just kind of throwing around terminology without any real reference. I think about it with like the term liminal. It's like, okay, I don't necessarily have an issue with the term liminal and what it means. You know, transient spaces, spaces that are you move through, right? But like, my issue is that when a term becomes a crutch for a deeper, like, discussion, or it becomes a like filter. It's like you look at an image and you go, oh, that's liminal. And it's like, okay, but what more, like, what are the actual mechanisms going on there? Oh, well, it's just liminal, right? And then they go back to what someone said about liminality and then try to, like, almost inversely apply it. It's like, it's a space in between, right? And it's like, well, this is just a room with a chair in it. What's in between about that, right? Like, you're not moving between that space. That's not an in-between space. It's just a destination. It's empty. Like, let's talk about the fact that it's empty. Let's talk about the fact that the background is obscured. Let's talk about the fact that, you know, no one's there. You know, like, there's a lot of different elements to it that build towards what makes the image work. But it all kind of gets reduced to, oh, it's liminal. It's like, Twilights are liminal thresholds between day and night. Yeah. I just think it's an overused term. And I think that there's a tendency to do that online, especially with the advent of, like, trending terms, where it's trendy to call something liminal. It's trendy to call something cyberpunk, you know? It's all vibes and feelings. I mean, yeah. I mean, to be fair, it's like, you know, you can only think so much about your language, right? But when you're making, like, a video essay, it's like, maybe you should think about the language you're using. The outcome they mean little, nothing to me. Yeah, well, and it's just kind of, it's unfortunate because I feel like there's so much that could be discussed about a lot of the images that people call liminal, because, you know, what people are really talking about is an art form. They're talking about photography and the art of photography. And oh man, there's so many things you can go with that. Like that's such a broad thing, right? And then you can start getting into the nuances of what makes a picture really work. Like, it's cool, you know? And I just feel like it's so often just gets boiled down. There are liminal, the whole thing. Yeah, eventually, like, it's one of those things where, like, this is a good example where, like, the medium really matters, because, like, with a photo, it is kind of transient, even though it's a still image, right? But with a photo, you can't look around. You can't get a full grasp of your environment. What you see is what you get. But you know there's more, right? And the result is, it's almost like a paradoxical thing, right? You have this image, the still image that feels transient, that feels passing. It's like, how does that work? But that's the effect of artistry. That's the effect of capturing a moment in time in a really interesting way, right? You know it's just a moment, so the illusion works. But when it's a game, when it's something like a game, it's like, well, I can look around. I have a goal within this environment. I can understand my environment. After a while, it just stops. It starts being the environment. It's no longer liminal. Had it ended up accidentally tricked her. Interesting. Well, and there's something to be said about the value of archetypes, right? Like being able to build from an understood concept, right? And that would include something like liminality, right? Like, liminality is a term. It exists. It has a definition and can be used in human speech. It's not just a made-up word. But even a made-up word can work, right? If it has a collective definition, or one that's settled on. that functions, then that's just a word, right? I think about the word sonder. Sonder technically isn't a word, but it has this definition that you can kind of build off of. Tricksters are liminal. They are a threshold between what stew you cooked and having to eat it. That's an interesting way to put it. Huh, that's an interesting way to look at a person as being between, right? Narratively. To bring about outcomes. I guess my question then would be, is that from the perspective of the trickster, or is that from the perspective of the interactor, the character that has to interact with the trickster? Would it maintain one or the other? So I feel like if you explore the trickster, similar to exploring the environment of a quote-unquote liminal space, it becomes the environment. It suddenly has destinations, then it's no longer, you know, what it's kind of set out to be, or rather can be. The other two interact. Okay, yeah, then that makes sense. They have themselves as teachers. Funny enough, like, actually that kind of makes sense from the perspective of a teacher, because like as a teacher, speaking from experience, my whole goal was to be a transitional element in the lives of others, right? It was like, okay, you're gonna move on past this. My goal is actually to keep you moving. It's to not have you settle, essentially, right? That's the perspective I really took with teaching. Was my goal as a teacher is to keep you constantly moving in looking at, like, okay, what you're learning, what, like, constantly observing, like, all that kind of stuff, especially in animation when I was just teaching animation and all that. They run into someone or so monstrous as they cannot or will not learn. Like Joker on a bullseye from Marvel. Yeah, it's interesting to look at the archetypes from an almost academic perspective. Nuke! Hello! How was stream? What were you playing? I was curious. I didn't manage to catch it though, unfortunately. Saw you playing something with Nick. I wish I could have joined, but alas, I had work to do. I actually might be wrapping up here soon, which I probably should wrap up here. Play the Euro Truck, nice. Honestly, it's been a long time since I really like worked into had a good conversation about just like good narrative, like things. You know, I have a good friend of mine who's a big into writing and stuff like that, and like literacy and stuff like that. And it's always really fun talking to him because he totally it really reminds me of when I was younger, getting into writing, and it was all the things that I knew I needed to know but didn't know what they were. Right? You learn really early on, or at least you should when you start writing, that there are like nuances to this, right? That you are missing, that you are deficient in, right? Because you just don't know what you're doing, right? Especially when you're a kid. And so you like it just becomes so curious, you know. You don't have to worry about that. I'll just do a bit of this. And we'll just do this. All right, I am gonna call it here. There is something I need to set up off stream, so yeah, we're gonna call it there. But I am gonna let's see how this is coming along. Slowly getting there. Yeah, it does look so much better with the lighting, I will say. That's the problem. It looks better. But yeah, no, thank you so much for stopping by, everyone who did. Really do appreciate it. Appreciate the keeping me company there as well. Last night, always enjoy to have you in chat. You always bring up such interesting topics. It's really cool. I really do appreciate that. But alas, we must end. I will be back on Monday. More of the same. We're going to be getting into base color. I don't know if I'm going to have any more done by Monday. I might be kind of busy tomorrow. Depends. But yeah, I'll be back on Monday though, regardless. And we're going to be doing base color. We're certainly going to be still doing that. So yeah, hope to see you then. Take care. Keep drawing. Keep working. Keep thinking. All that good stuff. You know. And yeah, I will see you all later. Goodbye.